Good morning, everyone. Last class we have seen regarding the characteristics of a research. How can you call and how can you say it's a good research quality or it's a good research by looking its characteristics. And this class will be talking the 2 points. The first one is the positivism and second is the post-positivism. All these two things comes under the approaches to research. How the research should be there, what kind of approaches should be there to conduct a good research, to conduct a good PhD. So that points we need to look for, and this is the new topic added in UGC NET, that is 2018 added 2018. So this is a new topic and it's very much important. We need to understand the concept very deeply. See, the questions will be asked based on the theory, okay, the theoretical analysis behind these questions. So that we need to look for, and until you understand the concept you cannot go for that. Okay, so let's see this point today will be dealing in this class. Now, before understanding the positivism and post-positivism, we need to understand these keywords. Unless understanding the keywords, we cannot clarify those main 2 points. So first we should discuss about the inductive method and deductive methods. Let's see, inductive means what they explain here, concise method given the definitions from facts to theories. Something, the research should go from fact to theories. If you do study from fact to theories, it's called as the inductive research. Same thing will happen opposite way, like it will happen if you come to deductive, from general universal facts to the theories, particular facts on that particular facts, that is called as the deductive method. So let's understand a little deeply the inductive one. Inductive, what explain here, it will go from facts to theories. Fact means which is scientific example, scientific fact, something. From there if you going to develop a theory. Example given here, I think you will be knowing the Isaac Newton's law of gravity. Law of gravity he discovered. One, if you see this picture, this apple was fall on his head, then later on it fall on the ground. So he saw some fact, example, that it has fall on his head, then it is falling ground. Before also there are so many apples, so many things was used to fall, but that time he find out the law of gravity. So before it was an example, one fact, and he made one theory. The theory is law of gravity. Law of gravity. So he find out that research. So if you define, if you understand, if you find out the research from facts to theories, that is called as the inductive study or inductive approach towards your research. I think you are clear with this. Now if you see the deductive one, what we mentioned, same thing, fully opposite of inductive. Deductive is called deduced karna, means making it small, making it less, deduce, decrease karna, something making decrease. How it will go opposite direction, like from different general universal theories to fact. So many theories are there, you are going from all these theories to a particular fact. For example, if I give an example like Rama is my brother, Rama is my brother, or he is in board, okay, and the third word is board exam is going on. Third sentence is board exam is going on. Okay, 3 sentences I made here. Rama is my brother, he is in board, maybe board standard, 10th standard, 12th standard board exam, and board exam is going on. By looking these 3 sentences, I am going to a particular fact. The fact is Rama having the exam. Okay, by looking this 3 sentences, say what I did, I deduce my concept from different stories are there. Like story is Rama is my brother, one story, one line. Second is he is in board, second line. Third line is the board exam is going on. I deduce all these 3 and making one particular fact, that is Rama is having the exam. Okay, so that kind of concept you should keep in mind. Okay, you can give some other example also. For example, you are doing any kind of study for on any kind of poet. If you go for linguistic study, poetry, anything, you will be looking the study on Rabindranath Tagore. For example, you are studying on Rabindranath Tagore. Okay, Rabindranath Tagore is there for the deductive study purpose. Tagore is there. He written so many books like Gitanjali, Gharo Bahir, different types of books are there. Story, Upanyas, we say. Okay, and you are generalizing this, all these things, so many books, so many poem proses, and you are bringing particular facts. His view was like this. So that kind of approaches from gross to bigger things to making simple. Means whatever the thing is useful for you in this universe may not be useful everything for you. Only few things is useful. So you are making your things, that is called as the deductive methods. Means from bigger to small, which is useful. From general universal theories to particular fact. And inductive is fully different, from fact to particular theories, like Isaac Newton. We have given the example here. Also example is there. You can correlate with me. Okay, please make your own notes, otherwise it will be very difficult to understand. So let's see the, I think you're clear with this. Next keywords, I am talking the keywords first, then I will go for the positivism and post-positivism. Directly if I go, you cannot understand, because all these words will come in between and you don't know the meaning of this. So let's me discuss all this. So keywords, see some keywords given here: subjectivity and objectivity. Subjectivity means we know subject, where the subject will be the main, pradhana. Subject means you, me, whoever, the karta who is doing that particular work, he is the subject. So subjectivity. Objectivity means what work you are doing, that is the pradhana, main. Means giving preference to that particular work, that is the objectivity. Here giving the preference to yourself. What is here? The subjectivity stands for the conditioned way of thinking. Conditioned way of thinking. Your upbringing, how it is, depends on that. Your subjectivity will be developed. For example, the veg food is best, non-veg is not at all good. Okay, because it is your perceptions, subjectivity. But if you do study on particular things, like you are giving for both the food, veg and non-veg, for your study purpose, then after giving the data, after collecting data, if you get the good food feedback from non-veg food or veg food, then you can do with that thing, the non-veg food is very good for your health or not very good. But before itself, if you have any kind of plan in your brain that non-veg is not at all good, then it's not going to work, because you are following your from subjectivity work. Means you know the theories, so many theories from your childhood, you read this thing, that things, so you made your imaginations like non-veg is not good. So if you do research on that things, automatically your whatever you think is there, approach is there, projection is there, that will fall on your study. So what happened here? It says the conditions way of thinking, how you thought before itself and your thinking, same thing will reproject on your study. That's called the subjective way of thinking, subjectivity, same way of thinking pattern. That is not good. And the objectivity is regarding the object. You have not any kind of control on the study. What is going on, that only it will be visible. You cannot interpret anything. It's scientific. Like explains here independent reality that can be grasped. Independent reality. The subject study is independent. It's not dependent on you. For example, you are giving treatment to a particular person on this topic. For example, some cancer patients are there. You are giving yoga to those kind of persons. So yoga is helpful or not? If you already assume yoga is helpful, then your study going to happen subjectivity, and you will be coding yoga is helpful. But if you find out yoga is not helpful for those kind of problem, then that thing will be free from the all kind of subjectivity. Subjectivity means giving more preference to the subject. Result may be plus or minus, you need to accept that. That is called the subjectivity look, and the research should be done on the basis of objectivity only. Before going to research, you should not have any pre-assumptions. You should have knowledge, but regarding your study, you should have the knowledge, but what you are going to do, you should not have the pre-assumptions, because research stands for the known to unknown. You don't know the unknown factors, what's going to happen. That's called the objectivity. Whatever the outcome comes, you need to accept that this asana is useful for this. If you think already before the study, then the output will be that only. If you go actual scientific study, you don't know whether it is good or bad. That's called the objectivity. You're giving more preference to object, not you, not subject, yourself. Okay, so it's called the unknown factors, objectivity. Okay, the researcher should maintain the objectivity. Okay, he should not follow the subjectivity. Subject can say anything, but if you do the study, if you do the analysis, then only the actual things will come, whether subject is actually true or not. That time it will become objectivity. Okay, this is the actual good quality of a research. I'm not telling it's you're a good who is thinking subjectivity is good or who is thinking objectivity is good, he is good. No, it depends on the perceptions and upbringing. Both things are good, but being a researcher, you should maintain the objectivity, preference to the object, to the study, to the your samples. So that picture should be there. Okay. Now see here, one picture I kept here over this. Like I think A is best way. A is the best way. He's telling person number one, and person number two is telling no, B is the best way. So they are both of them are correct in their view because his upbringing is A is the best and his upbringing is B is the best because his lifestyle, society, culture, everything is depends. That's why I told the things like veg and non-veg concept. It's a big concept in India, which is good, which is not good. All these things are there. So depends on the perceptions. For example, you can take as the dress, Indian dress and the foreign dress, American dress difference. Our dress is like full body cover, and if you go to out of country, the dress is something like skirts and all different types of small dresses. So your grandfather, if grandmother, if they see, they may tell, oh, that is not a good dress because their perception is that only they brought up and they have gone through that kind of lifestyle. Okay, even those who are sitting in America and all, they come to here means they will tell you are from villagers, see your dress and all because their upbringing is that style. So both are correct. You cannot see in that format in the view of subjectivity. The objectivity should be there because our Indian weather, culture, based on all these things, our dress up lifestyle has been developed. So both the things is correct, but you cannot denote that things. But for a researcher purpose, you should follow the objectivity as I mentioned here. Now, for a better understanding purpose, I given a picture here. Say this is one tree. This is the tree for everyone. You know, I know, this person also know, maybe knowing. So it's called objective reality. Object is same, but a subjective interpretation is different. For example, this person number A, in his village, this tree may say as tree only. In his village, in his local area, this person A home, A village. Person B village, if you go, this tree is projected as in his brain apple, because in his village the tree is known as apple only. He also correct. And her village, C person village, this tree is projected as in his mind is in her mind is as money, because in her village this tree is known as money only. So you cannot tell this is she is correct or he is correct or he is correct. Everyone is correct only. Everything's the interpretation depends on their upbringing, whatever the lifestyles they have gone through, the society, circumstances, friend circle, study, upbringing, everything is depends on that. So it's called the, and if you see the objectivity is same, the object is same, the subjectivity gets changed. Something some person may tell this is correct and that is correct. So it's called subjectivity. Person to person everything differs. Many man, many mind. We know the concept. Okay. So that picture you should keep in mind. Now see, this is the one more key points under this, that is qualitative and quantitative. This is a very big concept. Based on this one research types also there, I will be talking when I start the research types class. Say qualitative. Quality means you will understand something quality will be there. And quantity means something quantified. Number level will be there. What you can count. So see the quality is telling here, say refers to the meaning, concepts, definitions, characteristics, symbols, descriptions of the things. All these things comes under the quality. You cannot measure the definitions of concept of any person or characteristics. You can write here motivations, okay, and the energy, enthusiasm. All these things comes under the quality. Quality means some kind of gunam, some guna features of the particular things, particular data. So qualitative data you can have. Quantity data also you can have. Quantity means that can be measured. See, informations or data which is based on the quantities, number, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 number, and which can be obtained by using a measurement process. The measurement process must be there. Which sampling method you are using? Maybe using by some lab instrument, maybe the stethoscope, or maybe spirometer, or maybe any other kind of instrument through which you are getting some particular number data, that is called as the quantitative data. So the example purpose we are giving here, quantitative purpose, stats, any kind of statistical analysis purpose. You can go for p-value, t-value. So all these things come the number level, data level. That is called as the quantity. If you come to the quality, means comments. Different kind of comments will be there. Good, bad, very good. So for example, I am taking your classes. So you will be giving some feedback. Yeah, that class was very useful. So I cannot measure that. Okay, that is the only comment. I can tell very good, thank you. So that is called the measurement. And if you, after getting my class, if you will to clear your JRF, that time I may ask how much percentage you got. So that time you can tell I got the 80%. So that's become the statistical part. That is the quantitative part. And the quality is, yes, very good. You can continue with your study. So those things will be differs, and data will be differs one to another. You should be very clear with that things. When you're going to pursue your research degree, you should be very clear what kind of data you are going to collect from the patient, from the subject or samples, whether it is qualitative or quantitative. Okay, I think hope you are getting the points. Next, let's understand about the positivism. Now it is our main class, positivism. Say positivism means which is true. Okay, true. Before going to explain, say understand, let me give in one small background this. So positivism, it's related to one kind of century. Century means one part of time, set of time. And post-positivism also related to a particular century or time. In 19th century, one scientist came, he given the theory, 19th century. He given the positivism theory. And post-positivism came later on, almost 20,000 century. So we need to understand this concept very deeply. How explain here? Positivism. Let's see, it's the true fact, true and objective reality. The reality is not subjective, remember, it's a true. The positive means it should be true, means it can be identified, it can be justified by every person. Whoever sitting in here, whoever sitting in Japan, German, anyone can investigate, anyone can make it justified. So that's called the true. Like fire is the true things. If you touch, me touch, small boy touch, who is doing papa, punna, whoever touches, it will become, it will burn in his or her hand. So it's true facts. Objective reality. The reality should be objective, not subjective. Subjective means it may not be scientific. What your projection is there, that will be there on the study. Objective means what is the actual object, the samples, that only. And this kind of studies through the applying of the methods, applying methods. I'll be talking the action methods and applied method. That time we will be talking deeply. Here understand just only this kind of approaches is the study can be done by applying the applying methods. It may be experimental method, it may be analytical method, or it may be action research, those kind of methods, that kind of things. And the principles will be there, those kind of principles, and natural sciences like physics, chemistry, math, biological science, all these things will be here, not social science. And a scientific inquiry, the inquiry must be scientific. So research stands for the scientific inquiry only, but here the things what will happen, they are telling the pure science, the natural science, not cosmophysics, not like that things. Pure science, it may be biological science, it may be pure science, physics, chemistry, math. So all these thing related studies known as the positivism, which can be accepted easily by some measurement. Okay, measurement. So that thing explained about the positivism. Next, if you see the researchers knowledge discover and verified through direct observations. Here you know any kind of interpretations like these things will happen, that things will happen. No, direct observations. If you see this problem, if you give the treatment, if you give the solutions, and if you see the solution, if you give the solution and later on if you get the feedback, yes, this is decrease. For example, the person comes with a lung cancer or blood cancer. If you give the yoga treatment and if it is decrease, and how can you get that point that is decrease or increase? Not your interpretations. Like previous you have the thoughts, yeah, yoga is good, so it's decrease. Not like that. If you study, if you gone through some principles, principle means natural principles, like some test or some kind of surgery and all, or blood test, or maybe lung test, spirometry test, piclometer test, if you gone through, or WBC test, if you realize that, if you understand at the end that the problem has got decreased by using different kind of scientific measurement, then only it's called the direct observations. Then it comes under the positivism. Okay, next the measurement of phenomena. The phenomena, whatever your phenomena variables you're taking, maybe height, BP, WBC counts, or whatever the counts you're taking, so that should be measurable before the treatment and after the treatment also. So this thing is called as the positivism approach. Positivism is more like scientific, okay, scientific approach towards any kind of study. Everything is open, it's true, there is no any kind of interpretation, it's open to everyone. If you check, same thing will come. If I check, same thing will become. Like it's more following the regress method. That things we should keep in our mind. Hope it's clear. Positivism. Now if you see the post-positivism, post-positivism is the era, it comes after the positivism, means almost 20th century it's appear. Some person they told positive is not enough. Positivism, the scientific tools are not enough to justify all the things. For example, my mind is thinking something thought, and what my mind is thinking, the science cannot relay that, cannot speak about that. So it's beyond the science. So that things comes on the post-positivism. So beyond the science also something is there. So that's called the post-positivism approach. How it should be? See, the think, work, and the way of thinking in our day-to-day life, that is not different, it's same. See, not distinctly different, it's almost same. How you are thinking, how you are working, all the things are equal, same thing. See here in positivism factor, there is no thinking concept, it's a testable, true things, right things, correct things. Here the things come as the thinking process, means some kind of interpretation is going on. Your thought may be something else. By looking a particular object, my thought will be something different. For example, if you see the 50 rupees in your pockets, you will be happy because you're a very rich poor person. But if the other person see 50 rupees in his pocket, he will become very bored because he is a rich person. So if he see 50 rupees in his pocket only, he'll tell, what can I do with 50 rupees? I cannot have even a breakfast. But for you, you're a very low person, a poor person, for the 50 is very enough. So the object is same and the thought process become different. So it's different, thoughts, things become different. So it's called the interpretations by looking at object. And the work, all these things are not different, all the things are same only. So here they are accepting the positivism as post-positivism, both are they are accepting in this concept. So okay, so whatever the things is not been measured by the positivism, that can be measured by post-positivism. So those things are which is not going to count under this positivism, like what you say, motivations, inspirations, they are not going to count by this any kind of measurement, no measurement, and those things will be count is post-positivism. I think you know the history, like Brahmand, this universe, every study is going on behind that, like how universe develop, all these things. Till today there is no answer for positivism approach. Science, they have no answer for that. So how someone told the God has created, Brahma created this Brahmand. So that's why that approach is known as the post-positivism. You should accept that. So that is their view, post-positivism view. See, the scientific reasoning, the common sense reasonings are essentially the same process. Scientific process is very good, as well as the common process also we need to adopt in that. That is called the post-positivism. Only positivism they accept only on the science, and the post-positivism they accept science as well as the common sense. That's called the post-positivism. These two things they merge, and it comes after positivism. Okay, and you see they recognize that all observations are fallible, has error, that has the theories are revisable. So all the theories are revisable, whatever the theories are there, like Big Bang theory, all these things can be revisable, because everything has some loophole, some drawbacks, because science is going to change today, tomorrow it's going to upgrade, but the constant thing is universe is not going to change, same as it is, how it is at the beginning, how it is there, now also it's there. So those things are not going to change, and science should accept those things. So everything in science also have some kind of error. Okay, they are not finding all the things, like we say the god is there or not, ghost, pratatma is there or not. Science has no answer for that. And post-positivism, they tells if science is don't have the answer, then you should accept that things. So that view is called the post-positive views. So that can be revisable. Like the story of the Rama Setu, I think you know the Rama Setu was there or not. It's a big history. Now last 3 years back they find out yes, some bridges can be visible from the NASA galaxy. There Rama, the India and Sri Lanka are getting joined. So that's called the Rama Setu. So now they find out again one more 2 years back on study was there, like moon is there. Moon was actually, we was knowing moon is made of the solid items, but this 2 years back study that tells moon is made of the gases. So science is getting and change. So we cannot fully believe on science. So that is the statement of post-positivism. Like somewhat it's kind of philosophical. Okay, philosophical view they are correlating with this. Now if you see here, the positivism believed that the goal of science was uncover the truth. This is a very important point. Difference between the positivism and post-positivism telling this in this point. Say uncover the truth, whatever the truth is there, positivism will open for everyone. Anyone can check, anyone can get the data. But in case of this, post-positivism cannot do that. The post-positivism, they are believe the goal of science is hold steadily if the goal is getting right about reality. The actual reality science cannot reach there. Like God is there or not, ghost is there or not. It may be true, but science is not reaching up to that state. Science has no instrument to measure that. So science should do that thing, should study on that. So that's called the right about reality. That is the reality. Science should do that study. Okay, and even though we cannot get the achieve the goal, but science should study on that. If you get the result is very good. If you do not get, then also science should continue that things. Positivism should continue with that things. So this is the whole meaning behind the positivism and post-positivism. Remember the positivism, they are explaining or the getting the knowledge only on the facts and proofs, and post-positivism is accepting fact as well as the interpretations, the think and all. So question may be asked in your paper, the which approaches is mainly based on the philosophical experience and all these things. So their answer should be post-positivism. Or they may give the question which is good for the statistical analysis or the uncover the truth which approach, then the answer should be positivism. Or they may give some example also, find out the post-positivism approach and the positivism approach. So you should be very clear with these points. If these points are clear, easily you can get the excellency. I think hope it's clear. So let's see the next. Now I given one table so that you can identify very easily. See the positivism approach and post-positivism approach. See, positivism approach is deductive. We already explained the meaning of deductive. Deductive is from theories to fact. You have different theories were there, A, B, C, D theories were there, and you are going to particular fact. That is called the deductive approach. Different theories were there, theory A, theory B, theory C. By concluding all this theory, you are bringing one fact. This is like for example, the different drinks are there, cold drinks or the soft drinks, soda. By mixing all these things, you are making one particular conclusion, fact, this drink. So it can be useful for everyone. So that is called the deductive approach. You are deducing those things from so many things to particular things. I have given example of exam Rama related. So you should keep in mind. Same thing, opposite is inductive. Inductive means from different facts to theories. Like I have given the example of Newton. He have seen one apple was falling on his head and he given one theory, that is gravitation theory. So it's called different fact to developing the theory. Okay. Next is the quantitative. Quantity, we have explained, quantity means some kind of measurable. It can be measurable, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever the thing is measurable, that can be measurable. And here qualitative means which cannot be measurable, which can be experienced, like motivations, energy, inspirations, all these things come under this. Objective means the study on focus on the objective. object, not the subject. Whatever the output comes, you need to accept that things. That is the meaning also I discussed. That's why if I go directly with these things, you cannot understand. That's why I explain the meaning of particular. So objective and subject is the opposite of that. Okay, post-positivism. Subject means here only subject. What your intention is there, your upbringing is there. Based on that, you are explaining those things. Like God is there or not there, not that thing. That's called the subjective approach. This is the scientific. It's true. Anyone can test. Anyone get the justifications, and it is the interpretive. Your interpretation is different. My interpretation is different. So it's called interpretative, and it's a traditional. It came very earlier. Okay, and it's a newly developed. See, the concept is post-positivism is like a looks like old, but it's developed very recent. It's a new form. Okay, and I given here a very good example here for your understanding purpose. That is realistic. This is called realistic. Okay, it's real. What we can see, science we can see, we can observe, we can feel that. And the critical realistic is we cannot see. It's beyond our perceptions. Critical realistic. Last year question asked, which approach is critical realistic, whether positivism and post-positivism? The answer is critical realistic is connected to post-positivism. Critical means critically you need to think. Okay, we call some business purpose, we call the critical manager, who can think in a some other way. He can think critically. You need to identify those things, like why this thing happen, how this, like Brahman, how Brahmanda develop, all these things. See, from that time onwards still study is going on, but there is no result for realistic methods. So many scientists, they are doing study on the cosmophysics. That is called critical realistic, Vedantic. Okay, so this is the whole difference you should understand. It's very good, important, and latest added in your UGC NET and NTA NET syllabus. Hope everything is clear. Please make the points. If you not understand, make the points. If you can comment me. Okay, only looking or observing is not enough. Hope you are clear with this thing. So your success is our goal, and it's a guarantee that you will be successful. And I'm Amyadas. Paper 1 purpose, we are giving the training for the research aptitude. You already discussed ICT. You can go for, if you the students of yoga, giving yoga net, you can go for my channel. You will get good authentic knowledge. And any inquiry purpose, you can connect to me with this email. So thank you very much having with me. Bye bye.